You gotta love it, right? So this is part two. Apparently the video stopped and I didn't know about it. Um, Interesting nonetheless. So I'll try to do a recap here. Take note to where the story stopped because there's something important about what was said and everything or whatever had come after that. Um, these were the outcome cards. So we left off with the bag of balls, someone being a real jerk, or not knowing something until it actually happens, letting things play out. And I had shared a story about an ex of mine who seemed to live in that stance of things, like they would know what was coming. It also goes with tarot readers. When you're getting a reading done, let me go ahead. Which one should I do first? The X or the reader? It's the energy of the matter that they are seeing. The reader can have a story that they're talking about, a tarot reading, where it's their perception, it's their interpretation of the symbols and stuff that they're seeing, and it comes from their stance of things and their experiences in life, right? So when you go to a reader and they're telling you a story, number one, the energies can be changed. Like the players in the story or the characters in the story can be switched. So the main person can actually seem like the secondary person, where the secondary person can actually be the main person. It just depends. They always say just put it where it fits. So you can have maybe even 5 different sun signs being mentioned in the read, but all those sun signs could actually be the same person, or they could be 5 individual people. Let's just say there's a situation where there's a plaintiff and a defendant. Well, whoever's being spoken at as the plaintiff could actually be the defendant, and the defendant can actually be the excuse me, or the defendant can actually be the person who's the why can I just not even remember the word now? The plaintiff. So sometimes the energies can be switched. Also, on the storyline, whatever it is that someone is seeing, they could be doing a predictive seeing based on oh my goodness. Excuse me. So don't say that, I guess. They could be seeing things going down a certain pathway, right? Someone could be going down a certain pathway, and if they continue on in the same energy, then this is what the outcome of that is going to be. But at any moment, that energy can change because one of the participants or a situation in the storyline can change. And if there's one person that changes their direction, it can also change the outcome of the story. So whatever story that you're getting in a tarot reading, it can change because one of the participants can decide that they're going to make a different choice than what energy that they were in at the moment. Like someone could be in a state of being just so upset and angry at someone, and in their mind they're thinking of, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, and this is going to show them, and la 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 la. But then time could pass and this individual could decide, you know what, I was just upset. That's not the direction I'm actually going to go in. But because you got a reading during the time when someone was upset, and that was what was determining their future, now the whole storyline has changed, and this person is not in an emotional state anymore. They're not going to do whatever it is that they were venting that they wanted to do. And now this person is in a place of peace, and they're actually resolving the situation in a place of peace rather than in emotion. So now, of course, that avenue and that whole journey has changed. And if vice versa, it could be the other way also. Someone could be in a place of peace, and somebody who's in a place of peace can all of a sudden just have enough, and maybe that person is going to go down a different pathway because now their whole stance has changed. It just depends on what the energy is at the time of. And this goes another story. In other words, it's like, don't take whatever the story is being told, or whatever the the perspective of what's being told be the Holy Grail, or that is what it is, because it changes. I mean, granted, whatever they're saying, if you continue down that same route, that also could be the outcome as well. So it's just, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Just because it's said to happen doesn't mean that's actually what's going to happen. Someone could be sensing a betrayal coming in on the horizon. Maybe someone was told that there was going to be a betrayal, and then maybe someone was acting in that direction of the betrayal actually happening when it hadn't even happened. Right? I hope this makes sense. I had an ex who used to I would just sit there in a stance of, I just don't understand what's going on. You know, I don't understand why you're acting this way. I don't understand why you're saying these things. I don't understand why you're doing these things. And it was just in a stance of just like, I don't understand what's happening. Why are you so upset? Well, this individual, in my mind, I kept thinking, is this individual living in the future of what they think is going to happen? And so they're just determining what they're going to do now because of what they think is going to happen in the future, not realizing that if they would have just made a different choice, then perhaps whatever they were thinking was going to happen in the future wouldn't have even happened. Like, what if you have like a premonition of maybe you have a premonition of a tree is going to fall down in your path. And so then you decide to take another route in efforts of avoiding that tree, right? But in the efforts of avoiding the tree that you thought was going to happen on this path, because you decided to go on this path, it happened in that place instead. It's like you almost created that tree to fall because you took that other direction. If you would have just said, hey, I noticed this tree is going to fall over here, and you notified the correct people in order to take care of that tree, to take care of the matter before it fell, well, maybe your whole stance would turn out have been different. Going back to the whole betrayal card, because it's up there in the corner. Perhaps if you thought someone was going to betray you because of your decision to do whatever it was that you did because the person you thought was going to betray you. If you would have if it's in a relationship thing and you think someone's going to cheat on you, perhaps if you would have instead had an open conversation with this person, sometimes people betray other people and they go to a third party because they're not getting the connection or whatnot that they thought they would have in a relationship. So they go outside of their relationship and they try to find it with someone else. If the person who's going to be betrayed in this situation actually just reached out to the individual and worked on their connection of the relationship, then that betrayal wouldn't have ever happened. But if this person is continually trying to neglect their relationship, then of course, eventually the betrayal would have happened. And then now it's like, okay, well, I knew that was going to happen. Right? When you could have just taken the time to work on that relationship so the betrayal didn't have to happen. I hope I'm making sense and I'm not just going in circles. But anywho, that's why it's important whenever you're hearing things or whatever, or whenever you think something or you're having a premonition about something, it's important that regardless of what you're being told, that you actually give it time to work itself out or present itself, or give it time to even decide what it's going to be. So like the bag of balls, it's like you don't know what you're going to play when the PE teacher takes that ball bag out. You just know when the ball comes out which one it is that you're going to be participating in, right? So you got to give things kind of an opportunity to show itself before you just react to something. Now, this could have something to do with an extended network. It could have something to do with an extended family. This is the extended card. Initially, it was just about the in-laws, but this can also be just any extended network. It could be your extended work family. It could be anything of that nature. So maybe there was something that needed to play out in maybe it was an extended amount of time. Blood, sweat, and tears here. It could have something to do with work. It could have something with family lineage. I apologize that all this got cut off. Whatever it is, it's unknown at this point. We don't know what it is. You got to give it the respect it deserves and allow it to play out, because things are a little bit turbulent now with those waves. The tulips here, have you ever noticed that when, I don't know if if you do this, But I like to remove the leaves that maybe shouldn't be there. If there's an excess of leaves that are going to be in the water, I remove those so it doesn't cloud the water. But in doing that, sometimes when you remove the leaf that is giving the support to the tulip itself, then now you removed its a complete support system. Maybe someone's complete support system was love from an elder or something, or a love that was a slow kind of love, or it was like a growing love. The support of love on the journey. Maybe someone is being supported and loved throughout their journey, and now it's causing confusion because now maybe the confusion is coming from an extended network. Maybe someone is telling them things that is confusing them. It's confusing them on their journey, and now they're upset. We've got the Rabbit card. Someone is upset of the information that they've been hearing. They've been working super hard on things, the blood, sweat, and tears of something that they've been pouring themselves into. And because of what they're hearing from this extended family or extended work family or whatever is causing this confusion. And it's getting someone upset because someone was probably seriously just a sweetheart. And mind you, watermelon is not for everyone. Not everybody likes watermelon, believe it or not. I am one of those people. I keep trying to like watermelon. So maybe they keep trying to do something, even though they're very upset. Maybe they're trying to do something. We do have the seeds that are in snack bags now, seeds that that are edible. But then there's also what we were told in the past. It's like, don't swallow a seed. You're going to end up with a watermelon growing in your belly. Ha, ha, ha. Right? So maybe someone's finding something out that it just isn't true, and it's causing them confusion on their path. Something was being concealed. Someone's being held with an empty bag at this point. Maybe someone's feeling like their support has been taken away. Maybe that's what's being shown or illuminated. The people that were supposed to be there and supporting them, maybe they were the ones who were there who were supporting them. And the people that they're finding out in their extended work situation or extended family situation, those are maybe the people who are not being supportive. I'm hearing love is the only support. Love is an action word. Someone could be trying to fish for something that is concealed. Someone could be trying to throw a line. Someone could just be out in a boat contemplating, needing time to themselves, patiently waiting for something to thaw out. Someone is stuck. Someone has turned ice cold because of whatever was concealed. We've got the dice here. Someone took a gamble, and we had the numbers 10, which is learning a lesson and moving on. We have the number 8, which is an action, a masculine action number. We've got the number 3, the mind, body, and spirit, and then we've got Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, or it also could be a third party. Then we have the number 5 there with the number of change, and the number 6, which is an imperfect person, and it also goes back to our extended with the family. Someone's in a prickly situation. Maybe someone's been left out in the desert, just kind of left behind. Maybe someone feels like they're just been left out in a desert. Someone's stuck. The whole situation is a thorn in somebody's side of the gossip maybe that they've heard. They've gone to the well. This doesn't even have a handle on it. So it's like if you want to go down and get some water or hydration, you're out of luck. It's going to be really hard to get that water. Maybe it's going to be really hard to get. Interesting that we've got the dry desert lands, and then we've got the water that you can't even get to. Maybe someone is so caught up in whatever it is that they believe to be true, they're unreachable at this point. Or it's going to take a lot of work. Maybe someone is throwing stones at somebody because they have differences, or maybe their preferences are different. We had lucky come out. These are our outcome cards. We had lucky and a cabin. Maybe someone was feeling lucky at a cabin or at a timeout. Maybe it is a lodge that's feeling quite lucky at this point. They found a 4-leaf clover. Maybe they thought they found a whole 4-leaf clover, but now they're pointing fingers at the spirits. Maybe they're blaming it on the alcohol. They call alcohol spirits for a reason, because it lowers your resistance. And then you're stuck with a entity attachment of some sort, of a decision, maybe a poor decision that was made, some risky behaviors that might have been done. Maybe the lodge are blaming someone else for taking a risky behavior that maybe wasn't approved. Regarding a pot of gold of some sort. We've got the magical unicorn, a mythical character. In the biblical sense, there is mention of a unicorn in there, but they're talking about the rhinoceros. And as you know, the rhinoceros, I don't know if they are, I think they're on the extinction list. People were hunting their horns for whatever reason. But they were using the single-horned rhinoceros and the unicorn interchangeably. Perhaps whatever the healing qualities of this individual, maybe they were using that as a resource. Maybe they would try to lower this person's resistance. Or they were trying to distract them, or they were trying to get them under the influence, perhaps, in order to be able to use their qualities to their betterment for this pot of gold. And maybe felt like they were lucky because they found someone who was quote unquote like a pot of gold. It was their lucky break, that they were going to go ahead and use their healing qualities, because we've got the detox here and the lemons, for whatever purpose that they wanted to see fit for that. And maybe because someone was under the influence so much and it was causing all this confusion in this person's journey regarding their love or their loved ones and the people who are there to support them, maybe they were trying to make it seem like the people who were there to support them, they were trying to tell them, no, they don't support you. Causing this person confusion because they're in a vulnerable state. I don't know why my hand is shaking. And then the last card was 0, which is the number of the Fool, taking that first step out into the unknown with the trust and faith that your first steps or your steps will be protected and guided. And it also, with the Fool, has the Nomad card, right? Because the Fool in the Tarot has usually it has like a little knapsack, just kind of going out on your own journey. The 0 is just empty. It's before the beginning of things. And that's where we end the story, with the step before the beginning. I guess I should talk about the corner cards, and then I don't know if it made it into the last read, probably not, but the bag of balls is the center of the energy as far as everything else that's going on around. Is this person who's not being very nice. My sister used to call it a ballbag, as far as someone who's not being very nice and they're just behaving in that way. When in all actuality, I mean, that is half of the source of life there, right? But in this case, maybe someone is being a jerk. Maybe there is something that is unknown that we had here. The center of the energy is the fact that you need to wait and let things play out in order to be able to know what it is that you're having to deal with. There's a duplicate there, I noticed in my word choice. The repeat. We have the betrayal in the beginning of the read, and then at the end of the read, we've got the well. So the gossip that was happening, the slander that was happening could have been the betrayal here. The fact that someone was depleted Perhaps emotionally depleted. They couldn't reach their emotions. Maybe they were avoiding their emotions. They couldn't even get to them. We have the fan here, something being circulated, and then we've got this, the bag of concealment. Maybe someone was trying to conceal what it was that was being circulated about some individual. Okay. Should I get the word cards out since we still have you here? These are word cards. I just, they're in here like this, and I just pull them out. However they come out, they come out. We've got a mole in the mix. A mole is someone who is underground, right? The mole is someone who's the mole, the one that causes the problems. It could also be someone who's working undercover in order to figure out what's going on, in order to expose. In the show, The Mole was someone who pretended to be on someone's team, but they were causing problems on the team in order to mess somebody up. We've got a pinnacle here upside down. It has not reached its pinnacle yet. Anomaly, it's something that's just a little bit out of sorts. It's something that was not going with the proper protocol of things. The anomaly is just something that is just random. It's not the same as everything else. Concern, and that's a concern for somebody. Controlling, someone's not able to control a situation. Maybe that's the anomaly. Maybe they're usually able to control the outcome to things, but they're not able to do that in a work situation. A guest. Maybe it's someone who's a visitor, someone who's visiting work. Maybe it's a customer. Manifesting. Something that they wanted to destroy, but they can't destroy it. They wanted to manifest destruction in somebody's work environment by having someone come in as a guest to do so. So maybe it's going to be a false complaint. Swap. Someone was trying to change something out. Inspiration, trying to change someone's inspiration. So someone's not inspired. Roofie. Someone's not roofing somebody. Maybe someone tried to roofie someone, but it was swapped, so they're not able to roofie the person that they had wanted. Maybe they actually took the roofied item themselves. And they're no longer inspired because they were trying to control the situation with that roofie, and now they can't because they swapped it out. An X did that. Or it could be a person's name or initial, first, middle, or last, or a word that starts with X. Or it could just be X marks the spot, and that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly what it was. Maybe someone roofied themselves. Exclusive, upside down. This is not an exclusive situation. It happens all the time. It's a free-for-all. Thank you. Thank you. I'm getting little kisses as I'm doing the read. Thank you. Such a sweetie. We've got buddy upside down. Someone is not your friend. They may come across as your friend. Maybe your ex is not your friend. Those are both blanks. I'm going to do one more, and then that will be the end of these. Considering we had 2 blanks, it seems like it doesn't even have anything else to say. We've got dung, which is poop, which is coming in over the lemon. So maybe someone does need to do a detox diet. We've got filter upside down. Something is not being filtered. So someone's intestinal tract may need some attention. Maybe somebody's kidneys or liver needs some kind of attention. It's not filtering correctly. I am not a doctor or a nutritionist. Please get your directives from someone who's a professional. Do your research, please. We've got Muse and Comfy. Someone is uncomfortable. Someone's muse is uncomfortable. Maybe the muse is seeing that someone is uncomfortable, or they're in an uncomfortable situation. With that being said, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Make it a great day. There's something in every day. Even if that roofie happened, there's still something to be great in that day, because maybe you identified the fact and you know where it came from. With that said, take care. And as I said, make it a great day. Thanks for being here. Bye.